Okay, this video, I'm going to talk about a familiar subject, love. Here in this great American country, many people I see on social media and have conversations with in many places, fundraisers, in clubs, bars, family, friends, strangers. Every time love gets brought up, that four-letter word, people don't like it. Very little people, they appreciate it, they take comfort in it, but many people, they see it as a burden. A lot of people have things to say about it, but when it comes to love, they think that love hurts. And when they notice that love hurts, they don't want to get close to it anymore. And that is the truth. Love does hurt. Love is very, very hard. And when people feel that suffering, they see it as a mountain they don't want to get near anymore. They see it as a beauty that they don't want to even take presence upon. Maybe not even a beauty. They see it as a darkness, a shadow that was cast upon them. But it really is a beauty, and it's something very hard that needs work. It really does need work when you understand what love really is. And people really only see it as that four-letter word, love. Love. People are just saying love. But when you look up the definition of love in the English dictionary, there are many definitions of love when you check out the synonyms. Fondness, tenderness, warmth, intimacy, attachment, endearment, devotion, adoration, worship, passion, adore, desire, lust, yearning, infatuation, compassion, empathy, caring, concern, friendliness, friendship, kindness. And everyone knows these are words that are good. These are words of action. Very like action that needs to be done to care for other people. But when it comes to love, it's a very hard thing to actually do because it takes a large amount of effort that we have to put aside our own selfish desires to go and do for others without getting anything back in return. And that is a very hard thing to do. It's like we don't want to wake up at like 5 o'clock in the morning to go to work for 12 hours a day and not get paid for it. I mean, saying that and doing that for a whole week in our head, like, what do I get out of this if I'm not going to get paid the entire week working for the entire day? How am I going to survive? That's what we would ask ourselves. But that sort of devotion and compassion, that love to help other people because other people need something because they have less, they don't understand that type of compassion. That's what we need to show them, that it does exist. There is a letter in 1 Corinthians chapter 13 that describes love. And prior to the chapters, Paul is talking about marriage. He's talking, and when it comes to love, love's more than just marriage. It's more than just between partners. When it comes to love, you're talking about making a commitment to do something. You know, when you tell yourself that you want to achieve a goal, you're making a commitment to get that done instead of set it aside for a couple days. But when it comes to when Paul's talking about marriage, when you are making a commitment to a partner, you don't just set that partner aside. You're committed to that person. that person's always on your heart. That person's always on your mind. Same thing goes with your children. The same thing goes with your country and what your country is always about, and the people within your community, with your job, and everything else that's associated with your life. You have a commitment to those things because that is what affects your life, and especially God. And so what Paul writes here, and it's very important, and I'll explain later, he says, love suffers long and is kind. Love does not envy. Love does not parade itself. It is not puffed up. It does not behave rudely. Does not seek its own. Is not provoked. Thinks no evil. Does not rejoice in iniquity, but rejoices in the truth. It bears all things, believes all things, hopes all things, endures all things. Love never fails. But whether there are prophecies, they will fail. Whether there are tongues, they will cease. Whether there is knowledge, it will vanish away. What he's saying is, love is like a child, because a child is innocent. But when it comes to a point where you're doing something because you're thinking you're going to get something out of it intentionally, it becomes manipulation. So if I'm going to, let's say, do something good because I'm like, yeah, if I'm going to do something good because people are going to look at me and be like, yeah, that's a good person, that's a righteous person, I'm playing the system. And see, that's not out of love. That's out of how he says it's out of that's out of thinking evil. That's out of it seeks its own. Also, if that doesn't convince you, there's also what psychologist Robert Steinberg presented in 1985 called the triangular theory of love. And what he presented was, if you picture a triangle, and at the 3 points, there's intimacy, passion, and commitment. And the 3 together creates a consummate love. And without all 3, it would fail. You need all 3 for an actual consummate love. Okay, with anything that you're doing. If you have 2 people coming together, whether it's a friendship, a marriage, a goal that you're trying to strive for, whether it's reading, trying to run a 5K, the like. But like I said just a second ago, if you take out intimacy, then the other 2 are gone. It ends up becoming just a fatuous love. And when intimacy is gone, the small little details of what you're trying to achieve are no longer there anymore. And you start losing focus on what you're supposed to be doing. And you end up getting sidetracked. Okay? When you actually look into this theory of the triangle theory of love, the psychology of it, you can find books on it. You realize how important it is to pay attention to those 3 aspects: intimacy, passion, and commitment in any type of relationship you delve into. But that's all I have to say. And the love, most importantly, that God has for you is just the same. And you need to show that same type of love toward the Lord.